All right. Well, welcome everyone to Student Dream TV. I'm your host, Nina, the founder and president of Student Dream. And our mission here is to just provide money, investing, and startup tips for the Black collegian. We want to see you financially strong, financially healthy, and just have confidence to secure the bag. And so with everything going on, with COVID right now, I'm in my house, my friend Marvin's in his crib. There's a lot of changes. And, I was thinking about it, like I've had to make so many big decisions and different decisions. And I've had to ask other people for advice. And it just got me to think about you guys, and I don't know if you have folks around you who you can ask advice for. I remember being a student at Howard University and going through the financial crisis, but not even, I was still just thinking about getting my grades, getting an internship, but I wasn't really thinking about, man, how can I navigate just this new changing world? And so we want to be that advice for you. We want this to be like a talk with rich Uncle Marvin and rich Auntie Nina, to just answer all your questions when it comes to, man, how you should be navigating this new world, how you can really prepare, to thrive during this crisis and afterwards. So today, that's really what we're going to talk about. And I just want to introduce my guest, Marvin. It's so cool to become friends with people over the few years. So Marvin's a dope dude, man. He's super humble. He has just so much experience and just a heart, for our community and really seeing our community thrive. So Marvin, if you can quickly kind of just give folks a quick rundown of, who you are and your background.
Sure. I am, my name is Marvin Scott. I am Guyanese American based in NYC. I work a lot in media and entertainment. That's been a lot of my career.
Drop the brands.
Oh. I worked at Sony Music. I've been blessed. Let me just say, I've been blessed.
Drop the brands, bro. He's worked at HBO, FGM. Let's go.
And yeah. I've worked with a lot of incredible artists in music. Lauryn Hill, Mary J. Blige, Maxwell, Rage Against the Machine, Babyface, Dre. I mean, really, I like to mix it up. Ben Folds 5, Third Eye Blind, just a ton of folks.
Yeah.
And that was just music. Music was a while ago for me. It's been film a lot lately. I had my own production company for a while called Steel Pedal with a couple of friends, which was amazing and really got me, really excited. Open, on film. And I've worked with a ton of film festivals. I've worked with HBO, in marketing and corporate social responsibility, actually, which
that's great.
Into what I'm going to talk about now, and now I have my own platform for social investment that I'm building out of my company, Mascot Labs, and I've actually been using storytelling to, keep us woke. And then also just go into new arenas of experience and entertainment creation, education, all that kind of stuff out of the media world. So,
thank you.
These things.
Man, thank you for taking the time to be here. And, I really wanted to chat with you just because, number one, you have not only a heart for the community, but also you have experience to serve the community. Because when I think about wisdom, it's not just intellectual, right? There's a moral element to it. A lot of people can have a lot of information, but, I could care less about how you're doing as a human being. Hey, I could know business very well. For example, man, I know how to write the right application to get this PPP loan, right? But man, for example, Shake Shack, right? They got that $10 million loan, but it's like, but other people need that. And so just showing those bit of examples, you can use that intellect for good or for bad. And so, Marvin really has a heart to actually take his wisdom his intellectual wisdom, team it with his moral wisdom to really serve people. So thank you so much, man, for being here. Yeah, because we just need wisdom in this season, right? And so,
Yes.
you know, I am like a graduate. Like, let's pretend that I am, you know, today's April 21st, 2020. For many students, they're about to be graduating in a few weeks, right? And it's like, yo, what's the first thing you do? I need to get a job. And so many of these companies, it's like, I'm not even hiring anymore for the foreseeable future. And so what is your advice to the class of 2020 and even the class of, you know, 2021, 22, 23?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that it's really important to really think about value creation. You know, we're gonna. I think I feel like we're gonna end up talking about, you know, the workspace or the workplace, job opportunities, and we're also probably going to talk about wealth creation.
Yeah.
Imagine so you have to think about value. You have to think about where you're investing. You have to. I mean, we're not really taught to think about it this way, but you have to think of yourself as an investor. What are you helping to build and grow? And I think that we have been very, very absent about that thought. You know, like your time, your gift, your presence is an investment in whatever you're choosing. And you have to really think about yourself that way. And I think it's going to help you really have a better relationship with the things you're doing. Hopefully, when you find the investment that fits you, it may not be Morgan Stanley, you know, it may not be Chase Bank. Your investment into the world is potent. And if we're massively talking to a lot of people, right? With lots of, we have lots of vigor and youth on your side. Run with that, you know, but the wisdom that Nena spoke about is so key. You have to step back from understanding or believing that things are going to continue as they have been. So you have to think about that investment that I was just talking about in a new normal. You know, some of the things that I could talk about. One of the things that comes to mind is the green economy. I think that, all things related to clean energy, green energy. There's also forms of clean tech. All of that is, you know, the energy business is always lucrative, you know, because it's one of those fundamental.
Need energy. Yeah,
exactly. The energy business.
Even though oil is zero. I mean, and this is a good time to look at green energy, right? So guys, just for context, it's April 21st, 2020. So yesterday, I don't know if it was the first time in history on the trading market, right? Oil, the price of oil was trading below $0. Wild. So we'll get into that later, but probably another episode.
Exactly. So we've been stuck, you know, and I have to give it to Andrew Cuomo. Our governor, he holds a lot of conferences daily, I think. And he was speaking about, hey, we were always thinking about moving into this. We were always thinking about doing this, but it was too hard to change. It was too hard to change, you know. And now it's time, you know, like the carpet's been rolled out for you to take a new path, for all of us to take a new path. And you have to, you know, I love that
view. I love that perspective, because I think for many of them, what do you say to someone who, you know, they see it as the carpet being ripped up under them? I love there's two perspectives, right? You can have the exact same situation and see it completely differently. And it's easy to, you know, just sit back and be paralyzed by fear. That's a real feeling. But how do you help somebody who moved from feeling like the carpet's been ripped out under them, which is real, right? To like lament that, but then move towards, wow, the carpet's actually been rolled out for me.
Yeah. It's actually really interesting because if you think about it, generally people get jaded over time, and so
Ooh, that's facts.
the cold reality, something happens to you, you call it the cold reality of life, but usually there's a lot of bounce back in youth,
Yes.
and
Asset. That's an asset,
yeah,
man.
yeah, that's an asset. That bounce back, what some call naivety is vision, and hope. And
Yeah.
vision and hope is powerful, and it should not be diminished. In fact, right now, that is
Come
that is
on.
that is an asset. That's a
Come
value.
on. And you
That's a
guys, if I can give you context, I relate with that so much because I started and launched Student Dream in 2012. I was fresh out of Howard University, or rather 2013. I was fresh out of Howard University. I graduated 2012 and I got fired from my first job. It's funny, I'm just realizing how this connects. And I remember going to my mentor and just crying, and being like, "Oh my gosh, Marge, I lost my job," because for so long my identity and my worth and security was in my job. So for that to
yeah,
be broken, that really like broke something,
yeah,
kind of exposed some issues and insecurities. But she had known that I was just beginning to think about this idea of connecting, HBCU students and Black college students to just the world of investing in technology and venture capital, because that's what I was being exposed to by starting to work in tech. And in
mhm,
my mind, as a young person, young college student, I was like, oh, I graduated high school in 4 years, graduate college in 4 years. This will be done in 4 years. Let's go. And I
right,
love it, right? And
yeah,
it like propelled me and gave me so much fire. And so even to this day, I have to like continue to look back and be like, Nana, still maintain that same naivety, you know?
yeah,
Go for it. Because people ask me, hey, how did you do it? How did you get started? I was like, I was naive. And that was an asset, man. Because
yeah.
it makes you bold. So don't lose that. That's
Exactly.
an asset.
Exactly. I mean, the world really can't tell you a whole lot right now, right?
Literally.
And I do, my work is a little unconventional,
Mhm.
and I've struggled with it too. And I was always trying to get people to, agree with me,
Man.
to give it, credential or footing, and I realized that wasn't necessary. That it
Yeah,
was
because the
super
world
clear.
will try to box you in. And I think it's
Right.
important to have vision that creates your focus in your lane, but
Hmm.
so often there's not words to fully describe your capabilities. You can't just say, all right, I'm going to be a software developer and that's it, or I'm going to be an AI scientist or that's it. I know for me, having just people skills and loving people and loving talking about finances, sometimes I would feel very insecure when I would look at all these technical roles and be like, man, that doesn't really fit me, but I do love technology and whatnot. And so I think it's important to keep in mind there, don't put yourself in a box and don't let other people put yourself in a box when it comes to your vision or your skills or your capabilities. So I think that's a really good point, to leverage like that unconventionality, the fact that the intersection of your gifts, your passions, your skills don't always fit into a box and shouldn't, because you're so unique. So that's a really good point that you raised, Marvin. Are there
Sure.
any other, so when it comes to being an investor, right, you mentioned think of yourself as an investor, right? Many of the folks listening, say I never have looked at the world of investing. I may not know the difference between angel investing and private equity and venture capital, and mergers and acquisitions, or even how to think like an investor. So walk us through, how should you understand what an investor is when you come to thinking of yourself as an investor? What does that even mean? Tell me more.
Sure. That's great. That's a great That's a great question. One of the things that I think naturally happens when you think about yourself as an investor is that it raises your eye line, right?
Mm.
And I think, and it goes back to what you were just talking about, what the world is, you know, how the world is, you know, how the world is trying to define you and give you an identity. You know, that will fight that. That will smack that away and let you know, like. I want to smack away anyone who's telling you, you know, get to the back of the line.
Yes.
You know, wait, we'll tell you what we're gonna do. You know, like I just eliminate those kinds of things because it positions you. It gives your power away.
Mm.
But to get into it, I think that. When you think of yourself, I think that one of the things that investors feel is that they have a talent, they have a perspective, a lens. These are the things that naturally grow out of an investor mindset.